New Mexico has the highest percentage of midwife-attended births in the United States and one of the lowest rates of cesarean births as well. Our history plays a part in these amazing statistics. Our New Mexico midwifery roots began with indigenous midwives who either lived in permanent communities such as this Indian pueblo or traveled with their kinship bands, hunting and gathering. As early as the 1500s, the long valley along the Rio Grande River was beginning to be settled by Spanish explorers and people looking for a new way of life. Midwives, or in Spanish, parteras, were part of this immigration. By the early 1900s, there were over 800 parteras providing services to largely Hispanic northern New Mexico, and they remained the only healthcare providers in a village until the 1930s and 40s, when paved roads decreased village isolation. In 1936, 75% of the state's population lived in small rural communities, most without the services of a physician. The New Mexico Public Health Department understood the value of the parteras and established the Midwifery Consultant Program in the 1930s to teach parteras about asepsis, cord care, newborn eye prophylaxis, OB emergencies, and how to fill out a birth certificate. To support the parteras and to protect the health of the public, in 1937, New Mexico became the first state to license and regulate midwifery practice. This partnering with the parteras, who attended most births in New Mexico until the mid-1950s, likely laid the groundwork for today's flourishing New Mexico midwifery profession. In 1945, the Catholic Maternity Institute was founded by the Medical Mission Sisters in response to high maternal and infant mortalities in the Santa Fe area. Originally planned as a home birth service, the Catholic Maternity Institute soon added a small freestanding building called La Casita that was built from adobes constructed from the dirt in the parking lot. It was the first birth center in the United States and also became the first university-affiliated midwifery graduate education program in the United States. Not only were the Medical Mission Sisters pioneers in midwifery care and education, but our professional organization, then called the American College of Midwifery, was incorporated in New Mexico in 1955 by 4 CMI midwives: Director Sister Thea Fane Shoemaker, Pat Simmons, Ann Fox, and Sister Judith Kroska, who designed the ACNM seal. The main house and La Casita still stand in Santa Fe. The women's liberation movement of the 1960s and 70s saw women pushing for more voice in their childbirth experience and less hospital intervention. The hippies who came to Taos to establish communes illegally attended each other at home under the apprenticeship model. 2 of these lay midwives founded the Taos Birth Center in 1981. These tireless women partnered with CNMs to champion regulation and licensing of lay midwives and for Medicaid reimbursement for both certified nurse midwives and licensed midwives, as they have been known since that time. Indian Health Service midwives have also enjoyed a strong state presence since 1970, caring for Native American families and acting as clinical sites for midwifery education programs pioneered by the universities of Utah and Johns Hopkins. By the 1980s, the University of New Mexico's nurse midwives, who had been caring for Air Force women for 20 years, moved their practice to UNM Hospital and began taking an active role in the education of medical students and residents, laying the groundwork for mutual respect and collaborative practices statewide. CNM's practice sites expanded and flourished. The University of New Mexico's midwifery education program's 23 years of graduates have all passed the certification examination and make up half the state's CNM workforce. The faculty's research has contributed to our knowledge about normal length of labor and preservation of the perineum during birth. The New Mexico Department of Health, not the State Board of Nursing, licenses both certified nurse midwives and licensed midwives. Thanks to the strong New Mexico ACNM affiliate and a tireless lobbyist, CNMs have been licensed as independent practitioners with full prescriptive authority for nearly 20 years. Many practices have been built by brave and resourceful midwives from the ground up, just as the CMI nuns built La Casita. As a result, only 3 New Mexico hospitals with maternity units do not have nurse midwives on staff. Our state is known as the Land of Enchantment, with its gorgeous desert and mountain landscapes, its skies, food, and its multicultural population, but midwifery care is what makes it especially enchanting. And so, the thriving New Mexico midwifery community welcomes you to Albuquerque in 2016 with joy and pride. We look forward to seeing you here in 2016.
This is where many songs become one, and life dances in perfect rhythm. This is the tapestry of culture, where each experience is a thread perfectly woven. This is the place of 1,000 years, where the earth shares all that she's experienced. This is the celebration, where all 5 senses are guests of honor. This is everyday life when it's embraced by the extraordinary. Like no place you've ever been before. This is Albuquerque.